Hello there, everybody. So obviously at this point there is a ton of videos about Crown Victorias and information out there, but one thing I don't think that there's been a collective video done on where it shows all the common rust areas. So for many people, we live in the Salt Belt, me included, being in Canada, Nova Scotia, and unfortunately these cars do have their very weak points when it comes to rust, albeit they do hold up okay. But unfortunately, by the time they start getting to be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, they really do start to show some major rust issues. So I think it's good to have a video that dives into all these. So first and foremost, that everybody knows about with the Crown Vics is the fender rust. Both the front and the passenger and the driver's side fender like to rust out a lot. Usually the left side fender will go the most because it's exposed to salt the most. And unfortunately, the place that it likes to rust is right up under there because it is a 2-lip fender. So the fender comes around and lips under there. Now, unfortunately for me, the other fender is perfect, but this one is not the original that came on the car. So it is a bit more rusty than what the passenger side fender is. It's not too bad, but it's also not great either. So definitely watch out for the fenders. They do like to rust, and once they start, they come through pretty quickly, and you will need to get it repaired. Usually you can get it fixed if it's not too bad, but just keep in mind it'll probably come back within a year or two. So in the meantime, just keep spraying some rust check or fluid film on it to try and hold it for a while. But like I said, luckily my other fender is pretty good. Now the next spot that I find that rusts out pretty quickly as well is the dog legs on these vehicles, especially down here from all the dirt and grime getting down here. Make sure when you're washing the car that you spray in and under here to try and get out all the dirt that you can, because it likes to build up. And as you can see, I do have a little bit of rust starting, but it's not too bad. Nothing that fluid film and rust check won't keep back for now. But definitely the dog legs are a very common rusty area as well on these cars. So definitely watch for that. Keep it sprayed with fluid film. I'd even suggest doing it in even the non-salt belt areas just to keep the dirt from building up in there and causing more rust in the dog leg areas. And I'll show you the other one on this car. So like I said, you can kind of tell just from the wheels spinning and whatnot, it'll kick up the paint on the car and eventually wear and tear on it a little bit. And also down in here, it's hard to see, but once you get down in here, the rust starts to get a little bit worse, so this rocker panel cover goes over. And speaking of rocker panels, that is the next area that is pretty bad on these cars. It likes to get beat on a lot. So if you can, I haven't done it, not gonna lie, because I'm a little afraid to look at them, even though this car has been winter stored for a few years. These rocker panels like to rust out a lot, especially underneath this rocker panel cover. Yeah, I can't speak. Especially underneath this rocker panel cover. So my rocker panels are not too bad under there. They're a lot better than what a lot of people's are, but at the end of the day, they will go eventually. It's just the way they are on these. Definitely, rocker panels are not a cheap job to do, unfortunately. They can cost easily $600, $700, $800 per side. And if you have to do rocker panels and you have to do the fenders on the vehicle, you're talking about a lot of money. So that's a couple of the common areas. Another one that a lot of people kind of forget about is this left rear door likes to rust out for whatever reason a lot faster than any other door on the Crown Vics. Every Crown Vic I've seen, the left rear door is always the worst. Now this one has had a crappy paint job done on the bottom. Look at the top compared to the bottom. Yeah, it's a lot different. So left rear door does like to rust out on these. I do have a little bit down here just from the crappy paint job peeling back, and also on the inside. I've kept the rust check on it, but it is a little rusty under there. So inside of the door panels and also the outside of the left rear door, definitely a common rust area that you'll want to make sure that you keep up on it, because if you don't, it can rust out pretty quick as well, albeit not as quick as the driver's side fender usually will. And last but, or actually there's two more areas to cover. The next one is the gas tank. So it's hard for me to get a good video of the gas tank because it's so far under the car. But the gas tank really does like to rust out. So if you look straight ahead, right in front of the differential cover, you can't really see it under here. Luckily my underbody is very clean for being a Northeast car. but usually right underneath the firewall for the gas tank, and the gas tank straps will rust out very, very quickly on these. Not uncommon for a 10-year-old Crown Vic to need a gas tank replacement. And then last but not least, the next common area is the frame. So every time you turn your AC on, it will drip down under there, and it usually keeps the frame wet. I don't run my AC too often. I should probably run it more than I do, to be honest with you, but the AC will drip down onto the frame and create frame rot because it keeps the frame pretty wet just from the AC running. So even in non-salt belt areas, having that AC running 24/7 can definitely put a little bit of strain on the paint of the frame and unfortunately cause some rust. So I hope this video helped a lot of you guys figure out where the common rust areas are on the Crown Vics. Let me know if I missed something as far as the common rust areas on the Vics go, but I think I covered the majority of them, and I do hope it helps you guys out in the future. Thank you all for watching, and see you all next time.